Hello everyone, my name is Jacob, and today I should be building the North American F-86 Sabre jet airplane in Minecraft. So, the F-86 Sabre, also called the Sabre jet, it's an American designed fighter airplane. This thing was developed in the 40s. It's got a very distinct design from that period for a jet airplane. It was used primarily in the Korean War on the American side, and then after that in service with other countries as well. It was produced in very high numbers, and I think it is the most produced Western fighter ever, jet that is. So as I said before, it's got a very distinct design for that period of jet airplanes. As you can probably tell, it is quite similar in design to the MiG-15, in that it's got an intake on the very front. It looks a bit different, but it's very similar. It's got a single jet engine, and the exhaust comes out the back. So that's pretty much that. It's got swept wings, just like the MiG-15, maybe even a bit more. The canopy is right on top for good visibility, and it's just an early design. Later on, of course, jets started to look a bit different, but this is where they started, and I think it looks very cool. So as I said, it was influenced, or it was contemporary with the MiG-15. It was also in battle with the MiG-15 quite a lot. So these airplanes directly competed each other. So the MiG-15 obviously on the Soviet side, and the Chinese side, and this airplane on the American side. So I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, today we'll be building one, and I think it's time that we go ahead and start. Okay, so we're gonna start with the landing gear. As always, we're gonna go a bit couple of blocks away from that one, and we've got the front landing gear. It's actually at the very front, just under the nose. We've got some nether brick fence that's gonna go behind, like so, and some item frames on either side. Okay, and then if we move back, we've got the rear landing gear. I believe those are 3 blocks apart. Yes, they are. So right here, 3 blocks apart. So something like this. You'll see how they compare, or how they go into the whole structure a bit later when we build the wings, how they attach. So this is just their position currently. So we've got basically 5 blocks in between the front and the rear landing gear, and then 3 in between here, so that you can get a rough idea. And then we can start on the top bit, on the fuselage. So we're gonna start on the nose. So first of all, we've got an intake on the front. Now if you watch my MiG-15 video, you will see how I built the front on that, the front intake. Now it's a bit more distinct on the MiG than it is on the F-86, and so I couldn't really replicate what I did on the MiG, so I just decided to go for this this type of block, whatever it's called, a dropper. It's got a little hole. It's not as big as it's supposed to be, but it's better than nothing. and I couldn't really make it the same design as the MiG because it does look a bit different on the F-86. Okay, so anyway, we've got the intake. On top of the intake we've got a stone bricks there, like so, for sort of this sloping nose. And then we've got some more blocks behind. I'm using just polished andesite. These jets were this sort of silver color with some yellow markings, so we're gonna be adding those a bit later. So basically we have our nose here. Behind that we can just expand this all the way to the end. Basically we're gonna do the jet exhaust and the tail a bit later, and then the top also just goes all the way to the back. We're gonna fix that later. And then we've got some side expansions. So on the third block from the nose, we expand both sides out one block, like so. And then on top we're just gonna have stairs, and on the bottom just gonna have blocks. And then that goes on for 7 blocks. So we have 5 blocks of polished andesite, and then we have 2 more of yellow concrete, I believe, that I used for that. As I said, those are just the markings. It should have some markings, some yellow markings on the wings, but I can't really do that because of the slabs, so this is pretty much what it is. And of course different countries use differently marked airplanes. This is just I believe how the Americans did it. So anyway, we've got a couple of blocks here, and then we got a couple on top, and then on the other side we've got 2 more as well, like so. Okay, and then the rest up here are stairs, like so. And then on the other side we've got exactly the same, blocks on the bottom, stairs on the top. There we go. And there's our fuselage pretty much. We've got a canopy like up here, it's just 2 blocks, and there's also a slab behind, like so. So this is pretty much the front fuselage of our F-86. And then for the tail, we've got a simple sort of tail. We've got some black markings on the tail as well, so just added some black concrete blocks there, and then some polished andesite. Very simple, not too big, not as distinct as the MiG, but just nice and simple. So pretty much this is our configuration. And then for the exhaust, for the jet exhaust, this should be in line, possibly, yeah. Okay, just bring this 1 block further back, I believe, so that this will be properly sized. Okay, there we go. And perfect. Now on the bottom here we're gonna have the exhaust, which is gonna be just a block of black concrete, and we're gonna have some iron trapdoors on either side, so like on the bottom, and then a lever on the very bottom closing them up. Perfect. There's our exhaust. And then we're gonna need some vertical stabilizers, or some horizontal ones. We already built a vertical one, so they are not very big, just 3 slabs. They start like here, right above the exhaust. They're very simple. And then on the other side we've got the same, obviously, like so. There's our stabilizers on the back. And then I think it's time that we move on to the wings. Now the wings are not very complex. They are different than on the MiG in that they are on the very bottom of the fuselage. So we're gonna just do it on this side first of all. So we're gonna start on the second block of the canopy, so like here, and then we're just gonna go for a 45-degree angle. There we go. A bit more. Perfect. So we've got 5 blocks or 5 slabs in this 45-degree angle, and then we've got a 3 slab wide wing all the way to the back, where we all the way to the end, to the tip, where we just have a 2 slab tip, and that's pretty much how a wing should look. And then we can do the other one, of course. So start right here, go out like that, and then 5 blocks long. That's too much. There we go. Perfect. And then we've got an end rod here as well on the tip of the right wing. There we go. Not sure what that was used for. They only had one. They only had like this spike kind of thing on one of the wings, but it looks kind of cool, so I decided to replicate that. And I believe that's pretty much it. We don't have any wing guns because the guns were mounted in the fuselage, sort of in this front section right here, right in front of the canopy. They had like little ports and they shot out there, and that was pretty much quite a big advantage to jet airplanes, because they didn't have a giant propeller on the front and a giant engine on the front. They could use that space for guns. So anyway, I think that's pretty much enough for the F-86, the Sabre jet. I think it's a very cool looking airplane. I think the MiG still surpasses it in the cool factor, at least for me, but it is close behind, and it is a very well known airplane. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, you can press the like button and subscribe to my channel. You can also check out my other videos, and I will see you next time.